Every day, millions of people walk into fast food restaurants without thinking twice about what happens behind the counter. The food looks fresh, the place looks clean, the line is long, so it must be good, right? But there's a reason customers are never allowed behind the kitchen door. One afternoon, a man named Daniel accidentally stepped through a door marked "Staff Only," and within seconds, he saw things that made him walk out, leave his food untouched, and never return again. The disturbing part? Hundreds of people were still inside that restaurant, eating, laughing, completely unaware. There was one place Daniel went more than anywhere else: Quick Bite. You know a place like it. Bright sign, long lines, food comes out so fast you barely put your wallet away before your number's called. Everyone ate there. 5-star reviews, crispy chicken, seasoned fries. On the surface, perfect. But if you looked closely, things didn't add up. A smell at the entrance that was slightly off. Staff moving hurried, not efficient. Food arriving suspiciously fast, even for fast food. Daniel never noticed. He was hungry, tired, and it was cheap. That was enough. Or so he thought. One Tuesday, Daniel finished lunch and headed to the bathroom. His phone slipped, bounced across the tiles, and disappeared under a door marked "Staff Only." He knocked. No answer. The handle turned. He pushed it open just enough to grab his phone. But what he saw made him stop completely. He forgot about his phone. He forgot about everything. The hallway was dark. Not dim, dark. The floor was sticky underfoot. The smell hit him immediately. Not quite rot, not quite grease. Something between the two. Heavy, stale, wrong. Paint peeling off the walls. A pipe dripping something brownish into an overflowing bucket. He kept walking. He needed to know. He passed a door on the left, slightly open. He looked inside. A storage room. Shelves floor to ceiling. Flour bags left open, contents yellowing from moisture. Cooking oil resealed with tape. Used oil poured back into containers and stored again. Boxes of frozen meat stacked in the corner. No freezer, no refrigeration, just a warm, unventilated room. He checked one of the boxes. The expiry date had passed 3 weeks ago. He moved deeper, through a heavy metal door into the prep kitchen. Grease coating the walls so thick the tiles had gone from white to dark yellow. Raw chicken on the counter with a gray tinge fresh meat should never have. A worker walked in, didn't see Daniel, picked up a piece of chicken off the floor, wiped it on his apron, and placed it back on the prep surface. Didn't pause, didn't look around, like it was completely normal. Then, scratching, behind the lower cabinets. In the gap between the cabinet and the floor, movement. Small, fast. Rats. He had been eating here twice a week for 2 years. Then voices from the far end of the kitchen. "The morning batch is still in the back. Use it for the evening rush. It's been sitting out since 7. I know, but customers can't see back here anyway. Season it heavy. Nobody'll notice." A pause, then laughter. Nobody ever complains. They just keep coming back. Daniel felt something cold move through his chest. They weren't making mistakes, they knew. And they had decided it didn't matter, because the customers out front were smiling, eating, and leaving 5-star reviews. The system worked, just not in any way the customers understood. He got out, walked, not ran, straight through the restaurant, past the counter, past the families eating lunch, and out into the afternoon sun. He sat in his car and watched. Families walking in, laughing, office workers ordering without looking up, an elderly couple sharing a meal by the window. None of them knew. The branding said "Trust us," the reviews said "Trust us," the long lines said "Trust us." Daniel thought about every meal he'd eaten there. The stomach aches he'd blamed on stress, the fatigue he'd written off his work, the weight he'd gained that he'd chalked up to getting older. He thought about how easy it is to trust something that looks the part, and how rarely we think to look behind the door. Here's the thing, and this goes beyond dirty kitchens. Even in the cleanest fast food restaurants, the food is designed in ways that work against your body. Frying oil reused until it degrades, releasing compounds linked to inflammation. Sodium levels in a single meal that exceed the adult daily recommended limit. Ultra-processed ingredients engineered to bypass your body's satiety signals, so you always want more. That last one isn't a side effect, it's a design feature. Daniel's consequences were already there. He just hadn't connected them until his doctor did. Elevated cholesterol, rising blood pressure, borderline blood sugar. And he was 30 years old. These are numbers I see in people much older than you. Something has to change. He thought about his father, heart attack at 58, a man who also didn't cook, who waved off every health warning until one morning he couldn't anymore. Daniel thought, I am watching myself become that story. He didn't announce anything, didn't post about it. He just went home, searched simple meals for beginners, and bought 5 ingredients: rice, chicken, an onion, a tin of tomatoes, oil. Stood in his kitchen and tried. First meal, overcooked, underseasoned. He ate it. Second attempt, stuck to the pan in one solid block. He ate that too. Third attempt, burned the onions twice and nearly ordered delivery. But he thought about the doctor's office, about his father. He scraped the pan and tried again. This time, the onions softened, turned golden. Something finally smelled right. Weeks later, a simple chicken and tomato stew over rice. Slightly overcooked, heavy on the tomato, but he made it. He knew exactly what was in it because he put everything in it himself. No mystery behind the door. He ate the whole bowl and smiled. The changes came slowly. Energy crashes faded, stomach issues cleared, weight dropped, not because he was trying, just because the food was real. Cholesterol down at the next checkup. But here's what I actually want you to take away. Convenience is a trade. Every time you choose fast food, you're trading something. Time saved for control surrendered. Money not spent for quality not guaranteed. Energy preserved tonight for health quietly borrowed from tomorrow. That's not always the wrong trade, but make it consciously, not by default. The food industry is not optimized for your health, it's optimized for your repeat business. Those are not the same thing. The food that keeps you truly healthy won't have you back every day. That doesn't serve their bottom line. But food engineered to hit every craving, leave you slightly unsatisfied, and cost just a little enough to never make you think twice, that's the product. You are not the customer in that system. You are the resource. So ask yourself, not with guilt, just honestly, what is the food I eat every day actually doing for me? Daniel answered that question. It cost him 2 years, 1 disgusting hallway, and several burned pans. But he answered it. The food that is fastest is rarely the food that loves you back.